afternoon.
Good afternoon. Wow,
Hello.
we're here at last. Welcome to the Beauty Café
Finally.
with myself, Julie Wren, and my co-host, Anya.
And thank you for inviting me. And I'm very glad to be here. My name is Dario Fornara, and I am the research director of EROC, the European Regenerative Organic Center, near the Davines village in Parma, Italy.
Thank you. So, Dario, just to give you an insight, so the Beauty Cafe, we're here to have deeper conversations about our industry, which is skincare and hair care. And we are fascinated as well to learn more about the relationship that you have built, obviously, with the Davines group. And I'll hand you over now to Anya, who's got lots of questions for you about that relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Thank you.
Because for a long time, I'm into organic. I'm interested not only in for myself, but also to talk about it to people who use cosmetics and hair cosmetics. And I was wondering, we know Davines in Belgium, and why this relationship, this intense relationship today, and why now? Well, what is the interest?
Yeah, no, it is a very good question. Davines group is already a B Corp, and they, apart from selling cosmetics product, they are very much paying attention to the environment, to the well-being of people. So the project I am involved in is related to regenerative organic agriculture and cosmetics. It is kind of an odd combination, but it makes sense. On one side, there is a private company, cosmetics. On the other side, there is a non-profit agricultural organization in the United States, which is called Raw Dairy Institute. They came together to form this partnership. And I guess the link is the soil. A healthy soil produces healthy plants. And then we can use this biomass produced by plants for the agri-food industry, for the textile industry, fibers, or for the cosmetics industry, producing new regenerative organic ingredients for skin care and hair care.
So cosmetics finally are part of a solution instead of a problem.
You're right. Yes, I think the cosmetics industry could, let's say, help this kind of agroecological transition. You know, we already collaborate with farmers across Italy. They provide us with ingredients. Sometimes, most of the time, these ingredients come from residues, from waste. So these farmers, they're still selling biomass for food, agri-food industry, but the cosmetics industry maybe can help them to have maybe another parallel small market or big market selling the residues, the waste, to a different industry. And in this way, we help them to cultivate the land following these organic regenerative principles. So it's good for the environment, it's good for the farmer, and it's good for us because we use organic active ingredients which are more which are healthier.
Would that make a difference? I mean, if I have I say a carrot that is not organically cultivated, and I have another one, if I put that into cosmetics, would that make a difference?
Well, I honestly, I don't know. And that's why we need, okay, my expectation is that, yes, organically grown plants, they have, it has been shown recently by new studies, they have a higher nutrient density. I think they are more complex than plants growing on conventional chemically based agriculture. So the expectation is that they have more ingredients, more organic actives than conventionally grown plants. But we need more research. And that's why we are doing this in EROC, because we are going to measure the quality of the soil, the quality of the plants grown under two very different systems. One conventional, so the traditional, the intensive one with chemicals, and on the other side, regenerative organic principles. And we're going to compare the soil quality of one to the other. And we expect to see changes.
That's something we see behind you.
Yes, what you see is the big rectangle basically is the first experiment that we created last year. So EROC as a center is only 1 year old. So this is the first experiment we started, this big rectangle inside. There are 56, let's say we can call them experimental plots. So in each of them, we cultivate, we cultivate different plants and in different ways. And we are measuring, quantifying how the soil quality is changing between them, comparing conventional and regenerative organic. But that's only one part of EROC. We have 17 hectares altogether. So we are planning more experiments, and we are managing the land following the principles of regenerative organic agriculture, agroecological principles and guidelines. And you can see, for example, the yellow and the blue, those are cover crops. One is the rapeseed, the other one is the purple pansy, Facilia, which we grow during the winter. They're flowering now because we want to keep the soil protected. So using cover crops is one of the principles of regenerative organic agriculture.
So Dario, as I understand correctly, the project that you've set up is part of the story of sustainability, but going much further than sustainability, if I understand, where you're really looking at this in a completely different way. So what else is the EROC Center going to be focusing on?
So we have different objectives. The first one is to create the center, and we have been working on it. The center has to be an open air lab to do research, education, and dissemination. The second objective, as I mentioned before, is to measure. So science, measure the difference, quantify the differences between regenerative organic and conventional, and finding out the benefits for the soil, for carbon sequestration, so contributing to climate change mitigation, is a kind of agriculture which is more resilient to climate change. And then we are a cosmetics company, so we use EROC as for research and development. So we grow plants that we want to study to develop new ingredients. So we are growing, this year we're growing lemon balm, which is the Melissa officinalis. We grow marigold, which is calendula. We grow different varieties of chamomile, the red clover. So we are testing different species and we are measuring the ingredients in them. And then we do, another important objective is education. So we do training for the farmers. We educate farmers. We started a first introductory course to regenerative organic agriculture 2 weeks ago. and we have 12 farmers attending, and with them we exchange ideas and information. And finally, another objective of this center is to help farmers in Italy initially, which already provide ingredients to the happiness. As you were mentioning before, we want to help them to reach a higher certification level, which goes beyond organic, and it is regenerative organic. It's a new certification, basically. In this case, coming from the United States, it's called EROC, Regenerative Organic Certification, and we're helping them to achieve this certification.
Okay, so that's amazing that we're going that far forward. So how do you see that for the consumer? What kind of reassurances that bring a consumer to have that kind of a label?
Yeah, that's another very good question. I think if we are able to convince consumers that this ingredient or these ingredients come from regenerative organic farming, which is good for the environment, is good for your health, that would be, that would be a very good result objective. I think we need to open a debate, and which involves different stakeholders, consumers included, just to show them, to demonstrate how important this is for human health in general. But of course, it's not easy, because maybe they're going to cost more, and then we need to see whether consumers are willing to pay more for it.
Mm-hmm. So what's your feeling at the moment in terms of our consumers being more conscious of where they put their euros these days, in terms of who they align with in terms of brands?
I think there is much more consciousness now, and we are moving in that direction. There are many more activities, many more groups being formed, communities, which pay more attention to the quality and not the quantity.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that there is a movement in that direction, but then it has to be supported maybe by institution, by new guidelines, new laws, new legislation maybe, which allow these consumers to really go for the quality and not the quantity, because most of the time it's easier to spend less money buying a lower quality product just because it's cheaper.
In the end, that's not a good solution, but the laws will always be, I think, a bit too slow. So it's initiatives as you are having. What would be the difference between somebody choosing for quality, but also very consciously, because labels, there have been so many labels around. So is there one I could trust more than another?
Yeah, that's again, it's another important topic. I think there is confusion. Probably there are, I don't know, maybe too many kind of certifications. It's difficult to say which one is better. In this case, we decided to go for this one because it's quite comprehensive, and it's based on 3 pillars, which is soil health, it's the most important, but also animal welfare, if there are animals in the farm, and social fairness, so the workers in the farm are also treated. So it's quite a comprehensive application. I'm not saying, it is the best one. There are other options, but because there are other options, then consumers are confused which one is the best, which one we should be following. And I think it's very difficult to say. Maybe there should be a kind of like homogenization of, you know, or maybe in a few years' time we will find a different way to quantify, let's say, a product, the quality of the product without using a certification approach. Maybe we can measure some parameters of the soil or the plants, or a series of parameters which show this is a good product, this is a good soil. But I'm aware there is still confusion, especially among farmers. They don't know which one to choose. Maybe they lose trust, don't know what to do, or maybe they don't want to do any certification, even if they are producing very high quality products. But they can't be bored, because also the application, it's a bureaucracy, so they don't want to spend time filling papers.
Yeah. You mentioned you were in the big meeting in Amsterdam. So what was for you the biggest takeaways from that meeting?
So that one, it was the B Corp for like Be Good for Leaders meeting. Well, all the B Corps, mostly many of them all around the world, were actually gathered. So these are companies which already have, let's say, a vision towards a better world, you know, environment. And at the end of the day, I think we still, there are many companies doing very good for the environment, but we need more action, you know. When the meeting finishes and everybody goes home, and we continue to do good, but we need to put together these synergies, you know, and we need help from other stakeholders, maybe from the institutions, maybe the big multinational companies. They should be involved, because they also have to change in this direction.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not only the consumer; it's also the roots who have to change, and action is needed desperately. Not talk anymore, but action, please. But I think it's a very reassuring idea, if I may say, Dario, is that cosmetics can participate in a better world and a better soil. So that's very reassuring.
Yeah, I think it's a very good message. It can be done. We can produce food in this way, starting now, step by step, not immediately, because maybe we still need some, let's say, some chemicals in the beginning, but the direction has to be that one, because planet Earth has got enough, so, and the soils have got enough, so we need to make it better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fascinating. So I love the idea also of the, you know, being able to study the plants that Davinus wants to use in its cosmetic and hair care products. And you did mention there some incredible ingredients as well earlier on that you're studying. So what is the hope that, you know, let's say in a year's time, that what's your hope that you're going to have learned in a year about active ingredients?
Well, my hope is to discover maybe new ingredients or test new ingredients in skincare and hair care. My hope is to, let's say, develop a first EROC ingredient from our field that is gonna go into like skincare, hair care products. So claiming that this is the first ingredient that we produce here in Parma. Maybe just an example, because we might not have the capacity to have a supply chain from here. Ours is a research and development field, but for some ingredients we can do it. So maybe discovering an ingredient from EROC that could go into a product. That would be my ambition.
Wonderful. think if I'm not mistaken, you have a background is as agronomist. Is that correct?
I'm you say soil biogeochemist.
Yeah. So how does a soil biogeochemist end up working with a hair care and cosmetics company? How did that? What tempted you to make this change?
Yeah. So before I came here in Italy, I was working in the UK as a consultant for the Department of Agriculture.
Oh, that was it.
So
Yeah.
I'm a scientist. I'm still publishing my scientific papers, but I thought it wasn't enough to have an impact. So basically, I came in Italy, back to Italy on this project to have an impact. You have a cosmetics company reaching millions of people, and the Rodale Institute non-profit also reaching many people. So that's the impact, spreading positive message, creating a regenerative organic movement. I came here to do this, to have a positive impact on the environment, on biodiversity. Because if you follow regenerative organic agriculture principles, agroecology, then you also increase biodiversity in the agroecosystems, which is crucial to keep them going, to make them more resilient to climate change. But at the end, I came for having a positive impact.
Well, that's great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, thank you. I said it's reassuring to know that people like you are busy with also with cosmetics, but also with the planet. Okay. Thank you, Dario.
So how can we follow the progress of EROC? Is there a particular website or a place where we can go to keep an eye on these kind of things and developments?
I think at the moment the Davines Group website will be updated from time to time to include these changes.
And if I understand correctly as well, that Davines Group is very much open to visitors to the village to see their concept and their project and to inspire. So would that include a visit to EROC as well?
Yes, yeah, 100%. We have guests all the time, and we are very happy to take them to the field and showing them our experiments. So yeah, you're more than welcome. Okay, well, if any of our listeners are listening in to this and fancy a trip to Parma, I can personally say it is very well worth it, and it is full of inspiration, including the scientific garden as well.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you so much, Dario.
Yeah, thank you all.